fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Mandalorian speeder bike from the Star Wars Epic World of Action line from Hasbro. So this is very similar to the Scout Trooper with speeder bike that I took a look at previously. The speeder bike is obviously a very different design, but we have kind of a better articulated Mandalorian figure here. And we did learn recently that they're going to be doing some new figures, and they're keeping this level of articulation. So I'm actually really excited about that. I was afraid it was going to be a one-off because these figures had to be more articulated to actually work on the bikes, be able to sit on the bikes. But I guess they finally heard us. They're done doing the 5 POA figures. I don't understand why they did that in the first place, but they've learned and they've corrected, and that's good. So, as you can see, very typical packaging here. Bubble on card. You got your Mando figure. Got your speeder bike. This one does have a giant spring-loaded missile launcher. I'm surprised they were able to get away without one for the Scout Trooper speeder bike, but they have returned to form with the giant, overly sized spring-loaded shooter. So that is included. It looks like you can also adjust the pedals and the handles to better suit the figure, just like the previous release. This one I don't think explodes apart, so hopefully it'll hold together a little bit better. We'll see how that goes. I actually got this on Walmart, so I have never actually seen this in a store. The speeder bikes I actually saw, the Scout Trooper speeder bikes I saw at Target. Foolishly paid full price for one, and then they immediately went on clearance. I did pick up 2 extras at $6.99 or $5.99, $6.99, something like that. Army build a little bit because the figures are pretty good, and that was really cheap. But I got lucky. This one I got on Walmart.com as part of their big clearance push. I think I paid $7 or something for it. I think it was normally $20, and I paid $7. So the price was right. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the packaging here, and we'll see how he measures up. Alright, so here it is out of the packaging. We'll start off with the Mando figure. This is honestly a pretty decent little Mando figure. If you wanted a cheaper alternative to vintage collection, I really don't think this is a bad alternative. Could use a couple more accessories. It would be nice if he came with his little handheld pistol, and if it would actually fit in the little sheath right there, would make it pretty much perfect in my opinion. But otherwise, it's really not too bad. I do like the Darksaber that he comes with. Fits in the hand very nicely. It's very nicely detailed. Not a ton of paint, but it does have the white on there for the edges of the blade. Looks pretty sharp. Pretty happy with that. He does have a cape piece here you can see hanging down, but you can easily remove it. It just clips around the neck like that. Helmet looks good. Nice silvery paint. That's on a ball joint. You can look slightly down, slightly up. Not a ton of movement there. You can kind of tilt side to side, but you can look side to side, no issue there. You have a hinge and a rotation in the shoulder. You have a hinge and a rotation in the elbow. The forearm and hand are one solid piece, so nothing in the wrist, nothing in the waist. There is a ball joint here, actually, at the waist, which is funny because the Marvel ones have those terrible hinges, but they actually have ball joints here, so just proves they know how to do it. So I don't know why they decided to give the Marvel characters those weird hinge legs that leave the weird gaps, but it's neither here nor there. You also have a hinge and a rotation at the knee. Nothing in the ankle. It's honestly very similar to what Spin Master is doing with their DC Batman figures, which I'm happy with. I think it works well. You have the brown piece of plastic here for like the bandolier and the belt, which I think works well. Doesn't really move around at all, so can't really shift it. I mean, you can kind of shift this slightly, but the belt's pretty much staying where it is. But yeah, it's a good looking Mando figure. Honestly, I mean, if you figure this is normally $20 and maybe $10 for the figure, $10 for the bike, I think this is a really nice little 4-inch figure for $10. I'm happy with it. I really don't think that's too bad. I mean, like I said, I'd love another accessory. But other than that, it's got a lot of nice silver paint all over him. The cape works, easily removable because you're probably going to have to take it off for the bike. And the accessory he does have is pretty good. As for the bike itself, now it says a speeder bike. I think it's really more of a swoop bike, but tomato, tomato. They do the same thing as the other bike where they use the kind of somewhat translucent plastic to kind of make it look like it's floating, which I think is really neat. I think that works well. Got the seat here. You got like a little, I guess it's supposed to be like a satchel or something back there. Pretty much everything's done in this grayish plastic with the exception of this piece and the seat. And then you have the giant spring-loaded missile. I'm not lying. The directions, I already threw them away, but the directions literally said, like the first page of the directions were these two pieces, and it said, put missile into launcher. And I was like, oh, thank goodness you explained it. I never would have figured it out. It's very simple. You just pop it in, you press the red button, it fires. It's pretty huge. But it's fine. I mean, honestly, I don't mind it so much here in the front because it kind of makes sense that a swoop bike like this would have a cannon on the front. So it's a little oversized. I feel like if they could have shrunk it maybe even 10%, it would fit in a little bit with the size of the bike. But it's not terrible. You can move the little feet pedals if you want, if that helps you situate the figure better. And you can move these up and down as well. Otherwise, it's pretty much it. You can move these to the side, so if you prefer the look of it on the side, if you want to pretend it's like a, because honestly there it's like a kickstand almost because it has that extra piece there, so it will kind of keep it from falling over, because every once in a while, depending on how the weight's distributed, this can kind of fall over. But with this on the side here, that acts as like a almost like a sidecar, and that's not going anywhere. So there is that, and I don't mind the look of that over there either. But it almost kind of feels like it's a little too close. Like if it fired, it might catch his foot. So, I don't know. Alternatively, if you were to put it on this side, for whatever reason, it's only long on the one side. So you would not get the benefit of the kickstand over here on this side. And honestly, it will just fall over because it's got so much weight. You can see what I mean there. Now, you can get it to balance, but it's difficult. And it mostly just falls over. So I really wouldn't advise putting it on this side, but you can. I would say either on this side or on the front. Or you can leave it off altogether. It's another option. But it's, you know, it's a decent little vehicle. It's not terrible. We'll go ahead and try to put him on here. So we'll take the sword out. We'll take the cape off. We'll pop these legs up and see how difficult this is. Now there are peg holes here, and he does have, or I should say pegs here, peg holes on the feet. See how difficult it is to actually peg this in. Not too bad, not too bad. Peg this one in. We'll rotate this. It's actually not, it's not bad. And then we can bring these down. Will these actually fit in his, ooh, kind of messed up his thumb there a little bit. He'll be all right. There we go. It's actually not terrible. It actually kind of looks like he's sitting on it fairly evenly. Maybe if I bend the knees here slightly. Move this down. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Actually rides it pretty well. He's almost... I gotta bend these knees more. Maybe if I could get these up a little bit more. Still hovering above the seat. In any case, yeah, it's not bad. It's honestly not bad. I wish there was somewhere like you could store this. It would be neat if there was some way to like clip this underneath or something. I totally get why there's not. Or even just somewhere I could clip the sword on the side. Something like that would be nice. But overall, not too bad. It's a good figure. Decent little vehicle. You know, for $20, I don't think that asking price is ridiculous. But I paid $7, so I'm super happy. If you can find it on sale somewhere for, you know, $10 or less, even $15, I feel like is not asking too much. It's a decent little figure. It's a decent little vehicle. Again, I don't think full price is asking too much, but if you can find it on sale, it's a steal. And I think it's worth checking out. So, very excited that this line is kind of finally heading in the direction I want it to. Because the 5 POA, I didn't get that at all. It did nothing for me. And there were other 5 POA Star Wars alternatives out there. And I assumed that this was going to be something closer to the Marvel line, but was just a cheaper alternative for people who didn't want to spend the money on Vintage Collection, which I get. Vintage Collection prices are going up. We're getting close to $20 a figure for a 4-inch figure, and people don't want to spend that. So if they can pick up a similarly articulated figure with maybe a little bit less detailing and paint and a little bit less accessories for somewhere in the $10 to $12, that would appeal to a lot of people. That's what I thought they were doing. it seems like that's what they are finally doing. It just took them a while to figure out the proper strategy. But they have arrived, and this is actually a pretty decent release. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.